Nico, we were talking with Sheldon yesterday, and he said that he really felt that this team is started to take a bit of a turn for the better in that Winnipeg game. Obviously, didn't get the results, but the momentum started to shift and the mentality started to shift. Are you experiencing that from this group right now?
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously as a player, as a coach, you can tell the way you were playing, and like we were saying, always having a good process to give ourselves a chance to win a hockey game, and sometimes you have the right process, but you're not winning. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was the case in Winnipeg. I think we played a good game there, but didn't get the result. But then we stuck with it, and yeah, we're still trying to build our game, obviously, but you can for sure tell as a player too that we're heading in the right direction in the way we playing, in the way we taking care of the pucks and trying not to beat ourselves.
How important is that mental side of the puck for you guys?
Very important. I think the mental aspect of the game is huge, and understanding that it's what we need to do, and we're doing it right now, but still a lot of games left, so we got to keep building on that.
I was going to say, one of the things that Sheldon says, we have no room for error here. We've just got to keep building on that. So how do you approach another game here today?
Same way. That's the thing. I think you got to consistently approach games with similar mindset. Obviously, it can change a bit. It depends on who you're playing and what system they have and stuff like that. But like the main focus should be always the same. And for us, we're trying to really focus on our D zone and try, like I said, try not to beat ourselves and make them come through us. And in the O zone, we try to play simple and put in pucks deep and just play the simple hockey game that gives yourself mostly a chance to win games, and that's what we're trying to do.
I wanted to ask you what you thought of the first two games for Lenny here, who comes in, sort of, an opportunity opens up for him, and it really seems that he's fit in well. I just want your impressions as the captain, as someone who sees him here every day.
He's played very well, very well. I think he came in here, wasn't nervous, made some plays in Calgary and even Edmonton. He's playing really well and really solid structure guy too. Like these Finnish players are always very, very disciplined, and you can tell he was taught very well.
Thanks, Nico. Appreciate it. Paul, we were talking to Sheldon yesterday, and he was really talking about the job that you've been doing, taking on that center role. He said, we've tried it before, maybe it didn't look as good as we wanted to, but he's felt that you're really taking hold of it. What is the biggest challenge, and what are you enjoying from that experience?
I mean, it's good to hear that he thinks it's going well. I do too. It's something I feel comfortable doing. I've played center for majority of my life, and then the hiatus in Vegas with the wing, and so I think it's helpful that I'm able to play both. I think it's good for me, speed through the middle. I think that's something that I'm used to as a player, I guess, and kind of can accumulate that in my game when needed, but more so it's just being dialed in the D zone. Different coverage, haven't done it in a while, so just making sure I'm dialed in, and other than that, I think things are going well.
I was going to say, it's almost that muscle memory has to kick back in, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then Sheldon also talked about just the balance of finding these four lines that are kind of grooving. You're part of that with that. What do you like most about what you guys are able to do with Dads and Brown? Because you all have that speed that you're talking about to hit that neutral zone.
Yeah, fast line for sure. Brownie's awesome to play with. He veteran player. You know what you're going to get from him. A lot of talk and just going through certain things. So he's very good at keeping possession in the O zone, smart defensively. So easy to play with him. Dad's as well has been around for a long time, and just his skill and able to playmaking ability is. It's pretty awesome. You don't find that too often. So just trying to make sure I'm in the right spots for those two to be able to make plays and win some face-offs. I think should be good.
It really feels like there's been a shift, results aside, right? You guys are obviously winning more games right now, but it feels like there's a shift in energy, a shift in belief. Are you experiencing that as a group? Because it's hard to come out of a slump. It's hard to come out of it. But when you hit that ground running.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think every team goes through it. I think we did a good job managing the slump, and it wasn't total chaos. And I think we've done a pretty good job of, you could call it uniting together, but just a lot of talk off the ice, a lot of certain things, activities and stuff that we've done, just being closer, on and off the ice. So it's been great for us. I think that's ultimately what helped us. Guys being able to be accountable. You could call it yelling at guys, but guys, hey, what about this or that? And it's just a lot more talk, a lot more comfortability for a lot of guys. And I think that's what ultimately translates out there when you can trust one another.
To build off that, just the off-ice activities that you talked about and everything kind of trending upward, is it fitting that you guys got just a day to relax out on the road? It doesn't happen all that much this year, so just getting to spend time with each other away from the rink. Right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, whether it's, you go to lunch with a few guys or dinner with a few guys, the next day laughing about something or talking about something, and that's what brings guys closer. It's fun being with each other, outside of thinking hockey 24/7, and whether it's even at the rink too, like certain video sessions or certain things you're doing with your line mates or something, like that's the type of stuff. The more repetitive it gets, the more you get comfortable with one another, being able to talk, holding yourself and others accountable, and I think that's something that our team has that some don't right now, and I think that's what's helping us.
You don't want to wake up early and go fishing an hour and a half north?
No, yeah, Merce.
That was crazy.
Merce is, I don't even know.
Then you're going up against a team tonight that had gone through a really tough stretch, finally sort of for them broke that cycle of, like, what is a challenge in preparing for a team that has gone through that? Like, what do you kind of look at there?
Well, you look at a team that's going to feed off of that feeling that they've been working towards. To me, looking at them on video, they've been playing hard and fast. I think that's been pretty consistent. So if you take a step back in that area at all, then you allow them to keep building momentum. So it's just going to be on us to keep playing the way that we have been with our same type of mindset, no matter who the opponent is, and I think that gives us an opportunity to to take control of the hockey game and then manage it well from there. But they're going to be feeling good about themselves coming into tonight, I would think.
One of the things we talked about a little bit yesterday is no room for error, but you're liking the way things are trending right now. How much of that has to do with the mental side of things for your group right now?
Well, it's big. I mean, I think you can just see these last few days, just the energy's been different and better, I think, for the group. Practices, just around the locker room, when you start stringing together some wins and things start going your way, then it just kind of helps, helps release some of the pressure that's been building over our team for the last while. So that's really good and positive, but you got to keep with it. You can't take a step back. That's kind of how we've gotten ourselves out of it here. Is just focusing on what we can do and keep going and building our game.
I know we've talked about how strenuous this year is with a condensed schedule. Sometimes you get days off back at home, but what does that mean to have the team out on the road and getting a full day off, and what that feeds into the locker room and translating on the ice too? Yeah,
like I was saying, I think it just really helps with the energy of the team, and to have that at the time when you've come off a couple hard-fought wins, it's even better. So, like I said, yesterday's practice, today here at the morning skate, you can just feel the energy is back to where you want it to be. I think as much as you love playing at home and being at home, sometimes that can be a drag on you too, just because it gets to be a lot. And you get on the road, you change it up, you move around in different cities, you get to be with the guys. I think that can really help the group, particularly with where we're at right now. So I'm hoping to see it translate to the ice.
And you spoke so highly of how Cody has been playing, and you said he's a good complement for a guy like Lenny. What about his game is so complementary to so many different types of playing styles that you really see with
Well,
him?
I think Glasser's he's just getting better and better with each game that he plays. First of all, I think he's scored some really good goals for us early in the year, and even last season when he joined us late, you could see some of his offensive punch when he gets an opportunity. But to me, his game's just rounding out really well, in particular defensively. T-zone coverage, I think he's been as good as anyone we have in that area here in the last little while. Physical, positionally sound. He's been really hard in the face-off dot and really taking that serious. I think he's really embraced that type of role, and with that, They're trying to give him more, like slowly getting him more involved with the penalty kill and with D-zone face-offs and all these kinds of things that we had been leaning on Glendenning a lot for. But Glasser has been showing progression in a lot of these little areas that I think have allowed us to try some different things, with in particular putting Cotter in the middle and changing our mix a little bit. That's been a lot to do to Glasser's progression as a player.
Sheldon, I know obviously you've always been a guy who's pushed for offense within the context of the game. But when it's not coming, yet players want to score, like how hard is it to play the type of game you've played, which has been a winning formula the last two, and not get pulled into, I need to score? Is that a conversation you have with the team?
Yeah, I mean, we've gone through different phases here, right? We've we're well aware that we haven't scored. I mean, it's no secret. And for a good stretch of time, we put a lot of focus and emphasis on finding different ways to score, working at it in practice, themes in our video sessions, looking to find different ways to do that, and still wasn't coming. But while doing that, a lot of our defensive game was really slipping. So we flipped the focus here, and we've just accepted. It's offensively we've been challenged. We've got a number of our players, particularly our top guys, that I think it's going to come back. They're shooting well below what you'd expect from them. And they're generating, I mean, look at Jack and Brader in particular, they're still generating offense at nearly at the top of the league in terms of what they generate from a scoring chance, expected goals situation. So those guys are going to start to pop. We got to get our power play cooking. But all these kind of things, to me, we can do that while focusing on the defensive side and getting that in order so that we can still win games. And then when the offense comes, to me now, we're really going to be cooking. And I think we're going to get there. I think this trip so far has been really good in that area. We want to take another step forward here tonight. But it has certainly been on the foundation of a defensive mindset and taking what comes our way on offense.
As it regards Jack, where's the next step? That I don't want sharpness. I don't know what it is, scoring, but because it's clear it's just not there right now. Where does that come from?
Well, I think the part of it was getting back to playing. The other part of it is just building strength in his hand, and that's kind of the reality, and that has taken a step here in the last. I'd say last week to 10 days. I think he's feeling now certainly by far the best he has. So that's a big part of it. And like I said, he's still generating scoring chances for himself and others at a really high rate. I think when there's comfort in his hand and his shot and his playmaking and all these kind of things and his ability to battle and win the puck back, when all these things start to come, then it really starts to go. And in many cases, that might solve a lot of our challenges offensively. And I spent some time looking at it. We were a top 10 team in the league in pretty much all offensive metrics before Jack got injured, and we were dead last in the league when he was out, and we're making our way back towards the middle of the pack here since he's returned, and he's not at full strength. So it's no secret that he's a big driver in a lot of what we do.
Thank you.